Hey everyone, happy Friday. It is me, Shondi, and I posted last night that I would be vlogging today. I'm going to be talking a little bit about my overall experiences as a MILSO. I know I've talked about this a few times, but I think it's good to, kind of refresh just for new followers or if anything else has come up and just kind of, overall just refreshing my side of being a MILSO. And I'm going to talk a little bit about submarine deployments, not necessarily exactly what submarines do, but how things work with a deployment and whatnot, and kind of how my experience went with my husband's first underway. Okay, so I'm 21 years old. I'm from Southern California, but I'm now in Georgia. I've been here with my husband for about 7 months. This is his first duty station. He was in Groton, Connecticut for a sub school for about a year. And now we're here together. I was not in Connecticut with him, so we were long distance for, if you want to include boot camp, it would be a year and a few months or so. And that was, quite the experience, but it was good. It was, a good thing for us to go through and for us to really learn, and I think it's a good way to really experience love, to really experience it, because when you're not with someone and you're learning ways to show love and to give each other the love you want to give them through the distance, you learn a lot, not just about yourself, but about each other, and, it develops your relationship. Like, I truly believe that it does. So I've been with him since boot camp, so I've done the whole boot camp thing, A school, all of sub school, one deployment, or underways. I mean, when he deploys, it's only for a few months or so at a time, but he goes, generally twice a year or something. I don't know the exact schedule, but yeah. So I can help out in, any of those departments, and I can also help with things not military related. I like to help people, find when they're when they're feeling down and, they're not feeling motivated or positive. I really like to help try to bring their spirits up and, really push positivity in their direction so they can keep moving forward and, having good things happen for them. Sorry, my throat's a little scratchy today. Okay, so as for submarine deployments, they are somewhat unique. They're not exactly like a deployment if someone's on a carrier or on land, or, all deployments and jobs have their own unique qualities. So I'll talk a little bit about those on submarines. Let's see. So, for example, I had an idea of when they were going to leave, but didn't know the exact day until maybe a week or so before. And, dates change a lot, especially in the submarine fleet. So, I just thought, okay. And the date was changed at one point, within that week. So that was kind of, not a shock, but okay, I can do this. And then the morning that he was supposed to leave, I was going to drop him off. And it's not the kind of thing where, oh my gosh, sorry, my iPad's on. It's not the kind of thing where you drop them off and you see them get onto the boat. And they call submarines boats, so when I say boats, that's what I'm referring to. You can't just watch them get on and be like, oh, farewell. So, I knew I was going to be dropping him off in a certain area and that he would be going down to the boat separately with his crew, and then they would be going off at some other time that the spouses are not sure of. So the morning comes, and, we're about to pack my car up to take him. He gets a call, and he's like, okay, all right, no, my wife was going to take me. And I'm just like, what do you mean, was? So he gets off the phone, and it turns out he had to drive himself because I don't know what exactly happened, but there were nuclear weapons or something being transported through the area that we were going to drop them off to, and we weren't allowed to be there, civilians and spouses, so that kind of sucked. So, we had a very short, quick, intimate goodbye at home, and then he got in his truck and he left, and that was about it, we're just quick, simple, gone. Didn't hit me. I mean, of course, I was very emotional and upset when he first left, and I heard from him about a week later, and it was really nice. So, saying goodbye wasn't as I imagined, because when he first joined the military, I always pictured it to be, I could see him sail off, and I could see him, I could be there for everything. But no. So, as for communication, I'll kind of transition into that now. It's not the best. The only type of communication that I have on a submarine, keep in mind though, submarine communication varies because there are different types of submarines. My husband is on a Boomer, Trident, ballistic, nuclear, something. Goes to show that I know so much, right? No, there are several names for it, but they don't port. And then there are fast attacks, which usually deploy 8 to 9 months at a time, and they port. You know, they get to Skype and do the phone calls, and they're out much longer, but since, you know, the boomers are only out for, 3 months on average, they stay underwater. They don't port and, pull over and everyone gets off. So communication is only email, although at one point, most underways have this. We had a mail drop, which is kind of our chance to send care packages. They're not, like boxes full of a bunch of stuff. We get gallon-sized Ziploc bags, and we can fill them with like microwavable foods, candies, certain things, toys, coloring books, pictures, letters, just whatever we can fit into the one bag. Put some tape over it, label it, drop it off at the ombudsman's house or whoever is specified to be collecting them to take. And that's it. And whenever we get to send the mail drops, the sailors usually get to write letters. So my husband wrote me a letter, and he sent me a patch that had it's like his qualified rate patch of the submarine dolphins, and he got qualified in his first underway. So, he was really excited about that. So he sent me a patch, which is totally awesome. And I knew that it was possible to get letters, but I wasn't 100% sure. So it was actually pretty cool when I did get it. Communication varies. You're not 100% sure. They go on alert, and I won't go into detail what happens on alert, but they can't communicate really. They can't send email, or I think they can receive email, but I don't think they can send email. So at one point it was like 6-7 weeks or something that I didn't hear from him. It was horrible. It was really sucky because he was gone over the holidays, so I was in Georgia in a new state by myself, so it was very unique, although I did have family here, which was very nice. Besides that, that's about how communication is. Sorry, someone's calling me. You just do your emails, mail drops are totally cool, and, just hope that alert doesn't last long. It's not bad. I think I got used to it. I was very upset at first. I was so used to being able to text and call him, but after like a month, I was like, okay, back to emails. It's like in boot camp where you can only write letters. That feels like it was so long ago. Okay, so for homecoming, we were told like a date, okay, this is when they're gonna come home. But everyone kept telling me add a week, at least a week, because that's never right. They're rarely on time. So the day arrives, and I'm thinking, they're supposed to be home today, but everyone keeps telling me to add time, so I think they're going to be back, but I don't. And, I'm just doing my thing in the morning. I have to work till the evening, so just kind of cleaning up, relaxing, lounging around, and I get a text from the ombudsman, and it's a phone tree text, which was sent to everyone. And it says, the boat's ported safely, they're back, and you will hear from your sailor shortly. And I was like, oh my god, he's home! Like, it's happening. It wasn't like, I have a couple days to prepare. It was just like, they're back. They'll be home soon. They'll be home tonight. So I couldn't call him. His phone was still off. And, I ran to the store, got all of his favorite foods, made sure everything was nice for him when he got back. And then he, since he drove himself there, I actually tried to pick up his truck a few times. Every time I went, the gates were locked and no one could help me. It was so weird. But I heard his truck pull up. And I ran downstairs, and he didn't even get out of his truck. I opened the door and flung myself onto him. It was shaking. I didn't cry, but I was just freaking out so bad. I was like, I can't believe you're home. It was so surreal. To this day, I'm just like, I can't believe that happened. So I think, like I said, all deployments are very unique. They have unique, traits and the way things go. You can't always guarantee how one thing's going to happen. Hi, Papaya. And it was quite the experience going through Jordan's first underway. And another one will be coming up fairly soon, kind of not. There's another one this year, I think. Yes. So it was nice to be able to prepare myself, I guess I should say, and, you know, kind of put my feet into the water, which I was really nervous about. And I'm sure everyone's like that, because I feel extremely blessed that, you know, he only goes for 3 months or so at a time, but there are people who deploy for 9 plus or 12, 18 months at a time, and I couldn't imagine that, and I feel so thankful to have him here. You know, he goes out for a few months, comes home for a few, goes out for a few, comes home for a few, so it's definitely a blessing, but it was definitely quite the experience too, you know. We all have, not that we all have the same feelings, but I think that for the most part we all kind of go through the same thing, because when you're in love with someone who's in the service and you worry about them, that's something that is very similar. We all, you know, feel this sense of worry and kind of like get this anxiety, I guess, that kind of hangs over you. Like, yes, I'd be happy and totally okay, but I would always feel like there was this layer of anxiety that just kind of coated over me that was always there, and I was just kind of like, I haven't heard from him, it's been a month, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's so possible. It's not a difficult thing to go yes, it is difficult, but it's doable. It's so doable. And I look back on, you know, boot camp. That was nothing. That was nothing. Please, if Jordan told me, if he was like, hey, I have to go to boot camp again, I'd be like, bye, so long, write me, I'll write you. Like, I think, although boot camp is a good, you know, preparation for the future, for, you know, long distance and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of my experience with deployment and how things work a little bit. If you have any other questions you want me to answer, please feel free to ask. I will be on the blog throughout the night. Yeah, I'm supposed to go over to a friend's house later, but I'll have my phone on me and I'll probably just be lounging around waiting for Jordan to get home from work. I'm off today. Went to the grocery store, cleaned, did all that good stuff. So yeah, next week I'm planning on talking about, you know, filling the void when your significant other is deployed, and letting, you know, finding peace for yourself, staying busy, specific things that can really help you out. So if you have anything, you know, along those lines that you want me to talk about or touch base on, please let me know. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Bye!